Oh, hello. Do you think that Big Brother is watching? Is the Illuminati plotting to take over the world? Or have you had a close encounter with a space alien? If that happens to be you, then grab your hat. This is tinfoil hat time. Welcome back to Switched to Linux. This is, of course, tinfoil hat time. And today we're going to be talking about the illusion of privacy. Oh yeah, the illusion of privacy. I was struck by this because I use my Samsung Galaxy S5 here for doing some videos on another channel. And so pretty much this is my business phone. I don't text much on it, just occasionally. I use it to check a couple of email addresses, and mostly maybe a little bit of news, catching up stuff or whatever, because it's bigger than my small iPhone. But the carrier decided not too long ago, about a month or two ago, that I really wanted to have Marshmallow on the phone. Now, I was very happy with Lollipop, and I liked, it didn't have any problems, didn't have any issues. But the phone decided, or the carrier decided, I really wanted to upgrade. And so I couldn't avoid it, because the thing was constantly up there, giving me notifications repeatedly, update your phone, update your phone. So I updated my phone to give me a whole lot of issues. The battery doesn't work nearly as well. I noticed for a while, as I was doing my videos, my pictures were upside down and the camera was upside down. I finally got that resolved with, there's a combination of a hard reboot type thing you could do to fix that issue. But the thing that struck me the funniest is how they're putting all these new privacy settings. They talked about how great these new privacy settings were, except they're not really privacy settings. They are the illusion of privacy. So I'm going to come down here to the application manager, and I'm going to find an app, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So we are going to go down to the gallery. So I am now in the gallery. So in your gallery now on this is this tab that says permissions. So you can see here all these permissions. So they really let you set your permissions. So there's some permissions in here that are a little bit odd. Yeah, we're going to deny that. Okay, so in the permission here, of course, you can see the various options here. So calendar, camera, contacts, location, phone, SMS, and storage. So let's look at these items in tandem here. What purpose does my gallery have for looking at my calendar? I really don't know. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that off. Now, what access does the gallery need to the camera? I can kind of see that one, taking pictures, camera, putting things in. Okay, we're going to grant that permission. Contacts? Maybe if you want to set cool pictures into your contacts. So, you snap a face shot of your buddy there, put him in as your contacts. I can understand the contacts having access to the gallery. Location services. I don't know why you need that on there, but okay, sure. If you really want to stamp your photos with the location where it's taken, okay, that's a cool thing. Phone. I'm not sure why the phone needs permission to that either. Now, storage, of course, I can understand. And, of course, SMS is on here. So the basic text messaging functioning, does that have access to this or not? So I'm looking this over, and I'm saying, okay, my gallery, I can see that giving that access to the camera, and I can see that giving access to the storage. So that's kind of cool, right? So I'm going to come over here onto my phone now, and I'm going to go ahead and push the gallery button. And when I push the gallery button, I get an error message. Do I want to give the gallery access to the location? And the answer is no. How about access to your contacts? No. How about access to your calendar? No. Oh, gotta get that back for you. No. It crashes. So what does that mean? I cannot access my gallery for looking at the photos that I've snapped on my phone without allowing the location, the contacts, and the calendar. Can somebody explain to me why my gallery needs access to the contacts, to the location, and to the, oh, what was the third one? I forget already. Short-term memory, but when you're recording a video, that kind of happens. Ever notice, by the way, when you have a list of things, you can remember x minus 1 items, where x is the number of items in the list. Just saying. But there are 3 privacy settings that your gallery has to have on an Android phone, or it will not function. If I want to use this phone to look at my gallery pictures, just the pictures on my phone, I'm not trying to do anything with them. I'm not trying to anything else. It requires access to the calendar, access to the contacts, and access to the locations to turn that on. Why? This is the illusion of privacy. The illusion of privacy. Okay? All sorts of things are coming down the pipeline with privacy policies now. It's getting to the point where every single thing in your life has a privacy policy and a terms of use. All of these internet-connected things. And all the privacy policies tend to do is simply say, we have all of your data, we're going to collect all of your data, and you can't do much about it. And then if you check our terms and conditions, we have gotten rid of and you have signed away your ability to sue if we misuse your data, even massively illegally. We can be totally negligent. We can be totally fraudulent. If you sign an arbitration clause, you can't sue us. That's the illusion of privacy. Now that part there, of course, is the illusion of the company's got my back. But ultimately, what's going on here is the apps are coming out with these permissions, and they're saying with the Marshmallow update, Android came out and said, we are giving all of the apps more permissions, express more permissions. So you have the full total control. They want to give you access. But how many people would go through their phone and look at all those settings, especially if you've upgraded from Lollipop to Marshmallow? Now you have the upgrade in the phone, and it basically set all the defaults that it wanted to. Because I never actually found that for about a week. I didn't pour over the release documents to know all that was in there, but I was flipping through some of the things, and I noticed, oh, there's app permissions now. So I go in there, and I went through all of my apps, and I shut off all these permissions, but I found apps that would crash if you turned off certain permissions. Why is it? Why are some apps crashing if we turn down the permissions? That doesn't make sense. Especially if you're telling me we are giving you more control of your privacy. No, they are not giving you more control of your privacy. They are taking control away. Because I still have an app that I can turn off location in the permission in the gallery, but I just can't run the app now. That's not control. That's not control at all. That's a Google thing, Android thing, I should say. That's very sad. I like privacy. I like being able to sit back and say, okay, there's functions of this I'd like to use. You know, I love turning on locations on a map on a smartphone so that I can just push a button and it puts me right on the map where I am. Very helpful. These things are useful. But I don't see a purpose why location is required in the gallery. Why do certain apps crash when I turn off certain permissions? Can someone explain that? Let me know. I'm curious. Inquiring minds under tinfoil hats would really like to know. I have, of course, a crazy theory. My crazy theory for why they have done this is so that your gallery always has access to location. Now, I turn my location off on the phone, so hopefully it doesn't have access to the location because of that. But if I have location turned on, the gallery can always see where I'm at because they're wanting to collect more data. Just wanting to collect a lot more data. By disabling us to actually turn off privacy settings while telling us you can turn off privacy settings, there's lulling us into a false sense of security that says we are going to collect more data, but you have the ability to turn it off. The question is how many of you are going to? So I would deeply encourage you, if you have an Android phone that has Marshmallow, go through every single app and double check what every single app's permissions are doing. Look at every bit of those permissions and then take those permissions, turn off the things you don't grant access to. Like, why does a video game need to see your contacts? But did you know many of them do? There are a lot of apps on the App Store that if you actually read through the agreement and the permissions and what it wants, I mean, there's obvious things. If you download a calendar, it obviously needs access to your calendar. If you download, I'm just thinking off the top of my head now, just think about what it is you're downloading for an app on an App Store. And then think about what does that app really need to run. If it's a video game that's just a you're only guy video game, sure. But now if it's a video game that relies on networking out and other people and you invite your friends, that needs access to your contacts. Don't get me wrong there. But that video game may or may not need access to your location. Why does it need access to phone status or other things like that? Look at every bit of privacy options in every app that you have. Take an evening of it. Maybe while you're watching the news or whatever else you're doing in the evening, sit there with your phone. No one will notice what you're doing anyway, we're all sitting on our phones. But look at every single app through the permissions and turn off every permission that does not seem logical for that app. And then maybe explore, see which apps crash when you turn off certain permissions. That might be neat to know. Scary. This has been Tom with a tinfoil hat time. I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.